of Steel has returned. Supergirl, season 6, the final season. The journey begins towards the end. This episode is entitled The Rebirth. So now, this takes place basically during the quote unquote season finale of last season, because as we saw in the last episode, Brainy, he had stopped Leviathan because he shrunk all the Leviathan people with the exception of the one blonde chick, and he trapped them in that bottle. Lex Luthor knocked him out, and he took the bottle, and then he ran off, to his Lex Luthor hideout. The blonde woman was still there, so Brainy's in the room like he's dying because the radiation inside the room that he's in is killing him. The last standing Leviathan woman, she shows up, the blonde chick, she shows up, she's trying to kill Brainy. Dreamer shows up, she's trying to save Brainy, and Dreamer, she uses her astro projection, to open the cell to let Brainy out so he doesn't get, so he doesn't die due to the radiation poisoning. Supergirl and the gang show up, the Martian. I forgot Miss Martian was even there. I'm always happy to see Miss Martian. She's there, Jean's there, Supergirl's there, Alex is there. So they're all there, they're trying to fight this woman, but this woman is a god. She's Leviathan. She has Leviathan powers, and her true form is so devastating it'll make your knees quiver. So she turns into her true form. Team Supergirl getting their ass beat. Everybody helps Brainy up, and then Brainy's like, hey, listen, I got this vial that it'll actually kill her. We can put it into the machine and we can destroy the Leviathan machine. He's like, but somebody has to inject it. So Alex, she still has the gun the Martian gun that she can use to transform into different objects. She transforms it into an object that will take that energy and put it into the machine so she can blow up the computer. Alex and Brainy, they blow up the computer, therefore blowing up the blonde woman, and Leviathan is completely dead. So that surprised me, because the way Leviathan was presented was though they were just, they were presented like they were gods. So I didn't think we'd actually lose Leviathan, as far as the Supergirl lore. I thought they'd just be defeated and then just go off somewhere. But no, but they actually killed the blonde chick. So, so Leviathan is gone, is gone, whatever. We now go to Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor talking to his mama, and he's saying how he has a machine, because again, he has the vial that has the shrunken Leviathan people in it. It's basically a battery at this point. He takes the battery, puts it into a machine that he made, and it ends up transferring the power of the Leviathan people over to Lex Luthor himself. So now Lex Luthor has Leviathan god powers. He also used the Obsidian satellite, because also in the season finale, everybody was putting on the Obsidian lenses, and they were using it to broadcast to everyone around the world. What Lex did was he messed with the code, so that way when people put the Obsidian lenses on, it'll create a subliminal message in everyone's mind that'll make them think Lex Luthor is the greatest person of all time. So then, then his mom asked the question. She was just like, well, if everybody who put the VR lenses on, if they're going to think you're amazing, what about the other half of the population who didn't put the lenses on and they hate your guts? He's just like, well, we're going to kill them. And then, then she was just like, no. She was like, you can't kill your sister. She's like, at least go save your sister. And he's just like, oh, but Lena did me wrong like everybody else. And she was like, go save your sister, you fool. So, now he's trying to decide whether or not he should kill her. He should save Lena. Team Supergirl, now they're talking about it, and Brainy told them, he was like, listen, he was like, Lex, he actually did, set the satellite up to, to control half the people on the planet. And but he's going to kill the other half of the people. So there has to be a way to stop Lex Luthor, drain him of his Leviathan power, and also at the same time save everybody who's trapped into who's trapped in the VR lenses. So Miss Martian comes up with a plan where she says that her and Jean can go up into outer space, because he's using satellites to do all this. She said they can go into outer space, and if Jean and I link our minds together, we can control all the satellites at once. We can destroy them, so this way we can stop the people who have the lenses on. We can stop them from being hypnotized into thinking Lex Luthor is the man. Jean was a little scared about that, because he was just like, if Magan and I merge our minds together, we're basically opening our minds to each other, and we can see every single thing about each other's lives. He was like, she's gonna see my wife, my kids, like when I ran like a coward, when I fled Mars like a coward, she's gonna see every bad thought, every negative thought that I ever had. And then my whole thing is, I'm like, yeah, but she can see the same. You can see the same thing for her too. So I'm like, why are you worried about your thoughts, but you ain't worried about her seeing her thoughts, But I said, Alex spoke to him, and then Magan spoke to him, and she was just like, look, either we doing this or we not doing this. So the two of them go off on their mission to go stop the satellites. Lena and Brainy, they were basically trying to build a device that could take Lex's power away once they get the necessary energy source. The energy source that they needed was the vial that had the Leviathan power in it. So Dreamer and Alex, they went to go get that. When Dreamer and Alex went to go get that vial, they were attacked by Mercy Graves' brother and by Lex's mama. They ended, so like a battle ensued there. Brainy and Lena, they ended up having a conversation about both of them betrayed their friends, and how they're happy that they have a second, they have a second chance. Supergirl's whole thing is she's just like, while we're doing all this, I need to distract Lex because Lex has Leviathan power now, so he can sense what we're doing and when we're coming. So Supergirl shows up at Lex's doorstep and she's like, look, bro, if you agree to not brainwash or kill half the population, I'll give you the one thing that you want the most. And then he was like, what's that? And don't say hair, because that's low hanging fruit. I thought that was funny. So, she was just like, she's like, you can get me. We can meet at the Fortress of Solitude, which was Lex's idea. So both of them know it's a trap for each other. So, so Kara, she goes to the Fortress of Solitude. Lena goes to the Fortress of Solitude to get, I believe it was Myriad, to get Myriad. So, so they can make the device. Alex went there to go grab a couple of things. She also went to go get a watch where she can transport back and forth. And, Alex said goodbye to Kara because they knew Kara was walking into a trap. They knew Lex would try to kill her. And Lena did this one thing where she was on the Cal-X computer and she was doing something. And it was just like a weird moment where Lena had where Kara was talking to Alex. And then when Lena walked back into the shot to say her goodbyes, I was like, Lena did something. And I was correct, and we'll find that out later. So then, so everybody goes like they do their job. So Brainy and Lena, like they're doing the damn thing. Like I said, Alex and Dreamer, they're doing the damn thing. But then at that moment, Supergirl, she's at the Fortress of Solitude. And then before Lex showed up, she went over to Cal-X, and in the Fortress of Solitude, they have these things that's called memory crystals, where the crystal can record your thoughts. It can record your memories. It can record messages that you sent. Basically how Kara's mom made herself into a hologram. Kara did the same thing. So she told the crystal, she was like, listen, in case the plan doesn't work and I die, she was just like, I want you to record all my knowledge and all my information into these crystals. She only got, I don't know how many chapters she planned on doing. She only got through chapter 1, and then Lex Luthor showed up. Luthor used his kryptonite gun to pump Kara full of kryptonite, and he killed her. He even checked her pulse to to verify that she was dead. The satellites went off, and then everybody all over the world, half the population was dying, the other half was continuing to be brainwashed, by Lex Luthor. Miss Martian and John, they ended up they struggled at first, but they ended up using their Martian power to blow up the satellites, and they saved everybody all over the planet. Dreamer and Alex, they ended up beating up Lex's mom. They ended up getting the vial. Lena and Brainy finished doing what they had to do, so now everybody's on their way to the Fortress of Solitude to go save Kara. When they get to the Fortress of Solitude, Lex is there celebrating because he is the champion. He's doing his little dance because because he killed Supergirl. And then at that moment, Lena, the plan that Lena had before she left, because the device that Lena has, that it puts the kryptonite suit around Kara, which protects her from outside kryptonite, but it also filters kryptonite out of her system. Lena basically set that thing to go off the moment that the Martians destroyed the satellites. And then Cal-X said, he was just like, oh, satellite detection destroyed, doing Supergirl protocol right now. So, the device flew out of nowhere, it attached itself to Kara, and then Kara had the kryptonite suit on, which protected her, and then, it actually shot her full of, sun rays, so it wiped out the kryptonite, and then Kara woke up, she wasn't dead anymore. So now while Lex is sitting there celebrating and dancing, the whole team shows up, and they're just like, oh, but I have godlike powers. Everybody's fighting Lex, everybody getting their ass beat by Lex Luthor. The device that they were going to use to take his power away, they tried to shoot him with it the first time and it didn't work. So then there was a piece of it that had landed on the floor. Alex used her Martian weapon and turned it into a gun that can shoot the thing at Lex. Alex puts the energy into the gun that she just created. Meanwhile, while Lex has Kara down for the count, he sees the Phantom, the Phantom Zone projector. He takes the Phantom Zone projector, to shoot Kara with it. And just as Lex shoots Kara with the Phantom Zone projector, Alex shot him with the antidote at the same time. So Lex got his power taken away, but Alex was too late with that shot because he had already shot Kara, and Kara disappeared disappeared, and now Kara ended up into the Phantom Zone. You know, everybody's kind of like mourning her death. You know, Dreamer ends up finding like the crystals, like the memory crystals, and then, you know, Alex was like, we ain't playing that shit, because she was like, we're not playing no goodbye crystals, because she's not dead, she's still alive. She was like, you know, we're gonna find her, but it's gonna take some time, because like Jean and like Brainy said, she could be anywhere in the Phantom Zone, and it's gonna take us a while to find her. So the Martians take, you know, like Lex to jail, and then Alex starts losing her shit, because she's just like, if Kara's gonna be stuck in the Phantom Zone, she's just like, what am I gonna tell Kelly? And then my whole thing is, the girl got a job, the girl got friends, you know, like the girl has a mom. You're worried about what Kelly, like the fact that Kelly still doesn't even know that you're Supergirl, that Kara is Supergirl is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why Alex made such a big deal out of telling Kelly, because between everything that's going on, Kelly's basically part of the team at this point. She, you know, she even has the Guardian shield watch around her neck because, you know, Jimmy had, James gave it to her. So I don't understand why the big secret is with Kelly, like, you know, in the series, but apparently it was a big deal to Alex. And Lena stepped in and she was like, girl, stop playing. She was like, yo, you better tell your girlfriend that your sister is Supergirl. Stop this bullshit. She's like, don't end up like me. You know, so Alex is gonna tell her, and I'm pretty sure either Kelly isn't gonna be surprised, or she's gonna be like, yeah, I know, James already told me. It's not gonna be a big deal, and I honestly don't understand why Alex made such a big deal out of it. So now we go to prison. It shows that Lex's mom was visiting Lex while he was in prison. And, you know, while he was in prison, Lena pops up out of nowhere and blasts both of them. She used Myriad and the Q-Wave device to wipe their memories clean, because Lex did threaten. He was like, yo, if you put me in jail, I'll tell the whole world that Kara Danvers is Supergirl. So she wiped his memory clean so he wouldn't be able to spill the beans, which was a good thing on Lena's part. You know, she gives Myriad back to John and Alex. You know, like Alex is basically still losing her shit because she's like, what am I going to do without my sister? And then John was just like, well, you're going to be a hero. You know, and he said that, you know, he's like, on my planet, he said, I had a partner when I was with the Force, and, you know, it was a female, and she was relentless, she was brave, she was courageous, just like you are, and we used to call her Sentinel. He said that, you know, then he had like that, he had a little plaque, because remember, he has the plaques on his wall with all the Justice League members, except for Legends of Tomorrow and Black Lightning. But he told Alex, he was just like, you know, this was the symbol, this was the logo for my partner. And he's like, and now we're going to use it as your logo, and you're going to be known as Sentinel. So now Alex actually has a code name, and while Kara is off in the Phantom Zone, Alex is going to be the one protecting the world and, like, you know, for protecting the city in place of Supergirl until they can find Supergirl. You know, they told Andrea Rojas, you know, that Supergirl was with Cat Grant, that Kara Danvers was with Cat Grant doing some story. Andrea, she tricked her dad, like she basically like forced her dad into buying all of her stock of Obsidian, because Obsidian went bankrupt. So now she separated herself from Obsidian, and the money that she used from her dad by selling her shares, she used it to put back into Catco. So she actually owns Catco now, and she's going to use Catco as the newspaper that it should be, which is bringing positivity and hope and justice, you know, to the world. So that's good on Andrea's part, and I like Andrea. I'm glad Andrea is staying, because she fine as hell. And then it takes us to the final scene where it shows Kara where she landed in the Phantom Zone, and while Kara was in the Phantom Zone, like these weird aliens just started surrounding her, and then that's how the show ended. So I'm going to assume, very good episode, very action-packed episode. I'm going to assume that this was supposed to be the season finale, because I know with the Flash, the first 3 episodes of The Flash was basically the last 3 episodes of last season. I'm going to assume that this one episode was supposed to be the season finale for last season, because it wouldn't make sense. Because if you're going to put because that would have ended Supergirl at 20 episodes, because it ended with 19. So that means, and my whole thing is, I seriously doubt, if the plan was to trap Kara in the Phantom Zone and y'all were doing 22 or 23 episodes, we weren't going to spend 2 or 3 episodes with her in the Phantom Zone going into the season finale. I assumed that was going to be the plot for the new season. So this episode was basically last year's like season finale. And, you know, it's cool because I'll say this right out the gate. The fact that Kara is trapped in the Phantom Zone, it now makes perfect sense why she wasn't at Mama Kent's funeral in Superman and Lois when Clark Mama died. Because I said flat out, when Clark's mom died and they had the funeral, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, where the hell is Kara? So now it makes sense why Kara is not there, you know, and it makes sense why Superman's not bringing her up, because we assume at this point on Superman, he's aware of the fact that she's trapped in the Phantom Zone. So there's no reason to mention her. Like everybody knows, like Aunt Kara is, like trapped in there. Everybody's still trying to get her out. Though it still would be cool because since the Phantom Projector is in the Fortress of Solitude and they had episodes with Superman in the Fortress of Solitude already, it just would be nice if he references at some point, hey, any luck guys, getting my cousin out of the Phantom Zone. But we'll see what happens, because now that Supergirl's back, we'll see how it ties in with Man of Steel. But other than that, like I said, it was a good bounce back for Supergirl. We're gonna get basically 8 episodes of Supergirl leading up to the mid-season finale, and then that's when Superman and Lois will continue. So like I said, I want to see how they connect it to Superman and Lois, if at all. Obviously, we're not getting any crossovers, so we got to take these little nuggets, these little tidbits whenever we can get them. So that was like I said, so that was it. Let me know in the comments below, like what you think about how they handled the first episode / season finale. What do you think the storyline is going to be with Kara being trapped in the Phantom Zone? How long is Kara going to be trapped in the Phantom Zone? Who do you think the villain is going to be for this upcoming season? We'll have a conversation and we'll talk about it. Definitely check me out on the OG podcast, the Otakus Geeks Podcast, with Gotham Geek Girl Nadia, Justin, and Sean, where we went over the Snyder Cut, we went over Falcon Winter Solider, and some other comic book goodness. Link will be in the description. Check me out on social media, Twitter, Instagram as well. Definitely hit the notification bell so you know when other videos are popping up, because I'm doing videos for all these superhero shows and I'm loving it and enjoying it. And I also love your questions and your comments, and I love talking about it as well. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Supergirl is back, baby. The girl is Steel. Until next time, for truth and or justice, I'm out this bitch.